Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today I want to show you the update, or bring you the update on the Tectonic Slam Juggernaut. Which is actually turned out to be pretty well, but pretty costly. So, before we do anything or explain anything, we're gonna run a map showcase, because this is probably the most important thing to see when you decide for a new build, right? I actually want to see how the gameplay looks like, and then you can decide if you want to do it, and so on. So, first of all, I did all content with it. Okay, I did all content with it. I just killed Uber Elder like half an hour ago. After that, I did the Mastermind. So everything is possible with this build, which is actually pretty sweet. But it's very costly, and this is something that is a little bit annoying in this league, more or less, or at least in the past couple of leagues, more or less. Because melee builds, as you see, my whole Mastermind thing is resetted, because I just did the Mastermind with this build. So everything clean, everything cool. I think I died one time, because I have only done the Mastermind 2 times for now, so I'm still lacking a little bit of the knowledge of the boss. I just randomly run it, and if I kill it, it's fine. If not, then yeah, who cares? But yeah, it's a pretty sweet character. I'm playing this since a week, I think. And usually I switch builds like every 3 days, right? Because I kind of get bored of a build quite fast, or it was just too strong to actually, progress to something. So this build actually was quite nice in the start. I mean, it was hard in the start, because I was literally doing no DPS. Especially on any higher tier maps, right? Like, or Guardian maps, better said. Like, everything till tier 15 is like super easy, right? But once you start Guardians and that kind of stuff, you see if your character is actually good. And I had some issues with that one, especially when I did like Minotaur and stuff, right? The problem was, at one point I was lacking a lot of DPS, and I was like, yeah, let's equip an Abyssus to compensate the lacking DPS, but then you get one-shotted on Minotaur, so I was like, no, Abyssus is not the way to go, at least not for me. I don't like that at all. I mean, obviously, the DPS is nice, but I don't know. Do you want to sacrifice yourself every time to Minotaur or other Guardians, or, yeah, that hit a little bit stronger, especially Haku and stuff, right? So no, I was like, let's skip the DPS, let's try to get another DPS point, and yeah. But I got this one working out with 2 foils that I crafted, that I'm going to show you in a bit. And yeah, the problem now we have, like, you have to, if you want to make a melee build strong, whether it's Cyclone, if it's Blade Flurry, if it's like any kind of melee build, right? It takes a lot of investment. And this is something I think is very sad, to be honest, because you can take any kind of GZ miner, you can take like an Arc miner, something like that, with way lower investment and profit way more, instead of playing one of these melee builds that are super expensive and, yeah, still do the job, right? But yeah, in the end, you want to have a cost-efficient character. So, still, it has been a lot of fun for me to play. I really like Tectonic Slam, and usually, as I said, I play builds for like, 3 days, probably. This one I play since a week, and I still enjoy it. So, yeah, play fun, definitely top-notch. But yeah, as I said, cost-efficient. So, or not cost-efficient. So, how does everything work together? What did we change since the last run? So, first of all, this is the most important thing. I switched from the Racer of the Seventh Sun, which is a budget option, to self-crafted jewel foils. I know everybody will be like, oh my god, it's so expensive, how should I afford that one? You can self-craft that one, same as I did. But I want to show you how expensive it is actually. If you're gonna open here Notepad to write the crafting process. So first of all, you want to have a jeweled foil, right? Jeweled foil. Probably, I don't know what the current base is. I need to check actually. Let's check quickly. PoE affix. Your base, if we go for jeweled foil, like two-handed, one-handed. Sword, should be jeweled foil. Physical damage. So the flaring one, that's what I use, is item level 77. So your foil should at least have item level 77, right? Because the rest is just meta crafting, so it's not a big deal. So you want to have flaring on it. Or another option is like physical damage and stuff, but I don't want to talk about that one. I want to just show you how I made those kind of fuels, yeah. They have like 440 physical DPS. If I would divine them, I can get up to 460 physical DPS. And this is quite insane for, yeah, that amount of, or that price, right? So you start with this. I would assume if you buy a foil with flaring, probably I would say 1 to 2x, basically, right? What you can do is just self-crafting like I did. You take a jeweled foil, you know, you have some alterations, you spam alterations until you hit either like fizz or like the flat fizz, right? So flaring is 27 to 49 in a perfect scenario like here. And then you're gonna regal it. And then you try to annul off the second or the bad suffix. Unless it's like a tier 1 attack speed, tier 1 crit or something like that, right? You wanna keep those. But usually you're not that lucky to hit that. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna craft, and once you hit like flaring or something, you're gonna regal it, so it's a rare item, and then you annul the other stats off. Can work. If it works, fine. If not, scoring and go again. It is like that. Or you buy something like that, exactly. So the next thing is Multimode. Multimode goes for 2 exalts. Then you wanna have the percent fizz damage. I think that goes for 1x. I'm not sure. Let me quickly check. Physical, increased physical damage is 1x, right? This is the stat here. You can take lower as well, but why should you? Because this is like super important, right? So 1x, then you have the attack speed / qual is 1x, and then you have crit chance / qual 1x. So basically, if you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I would say like 6 to 7 exalts to get one of these foils. They have like 440 physical DPS, right? I remember back last league when we had foils with 400 physical DPS, they went for like 20 exalts plus. So this way, I have 2 of them, exactly the same. Both have tier 1 flaring. I made both myself. Like I said before, alterations, then regal, and then annul it off, and then multi-mod and start doing this, right? And, oh, wait a second. There is one mod missing, because flaring is a prefix, multi-mod is a suffix. Let's switch that one over. So you see, attack speed. These are your 3 suffixes. So multi-mod is a suffix, attack speed, and crit chance. The other one is the flaring is a prefix, the percentage fizz is a prefix, and then you get Ella penetration. That's also 1x. So yeah, 7 to 8x, basically. These are your 3 prefixes and your 3 suffixes that you want to have on your foil for that kind of scenario, right? Okay, perfect. So I have 2 of those, and those brought a significant DPS increase, right? Compared to the other, to the Rise of the, no, not Rise of the Phoenix, the Phoenix, yeah, weapons that I had before. So, these for the weapons. For the helm, why Light Poacher? There is not a specific reason for Light Poacher, because I wanted to have, like, I was trying out Abyssos, and I wasn't, like, so happy with it. I mean, the damage was good, but you're gonna lose so much survivability because of that, and that's, like, not something you want to do. So, I was specifically searching for the enchant, because your Tectonic Slam gives you 35% chance to consume endurance charge, right? To make those empowered slams that do a way more damage and way more area of effect. So I want to have this enchant just for the 55% in general, right? And I got this yesterday for like 1.5 exalts, what was pretty cheap. And I also was lacking some resistances. I was like, yeah, let's buy this one. So to be honest, you don't really want to go Light Poacher, because you miss a lot of gem slots, right? You have Chaos Roots that have no gems, you have Tomb Fist that have no gems, you have a Light Poacher that has two freaking gems like here, right? So yeah, you suffer a lot for gems, right? So you can take, I would suggest a Zirconias, to be honest. Zirconias would be nice, or a rare crafted helm with a Delph mod where the enemies get less fire resistance, right? And then like life and resistance, because this is something you really want to have. Okay, from the armor, I went for a Law Weave, because Law Weave is something you... I don't know, like 9 out of 10 melee builds want to have a Law Weave. You have your max resistance is 80, right? So you get a lot of defensive layers here. Then you have elemental damage, you have crit chance, you have life, you have physical damage, you have all attributes. You know, melee builds are starved on intelligence, so all attributes. So there is only basically mana, energy shield, and rarity what you actually don't need besides all of those stats, right? So very decent choice for almost any melee build. For the Tomb Fists, for, yeah, Intimidate and Maim, if you can afford the 2 sockets, then go for it. If not, then take the 3 socket, at least the 1 socket Abyss. And I would take the Intimidate, because that would be stronger than the Maim. So you're gonna socket it in with a Murderous Eye Jewel. If not, or if you can afford the 2 slotted Tomb Fist, then go for 1 Murderous and 1 Searching Eye Jewel to get Intimidate and Maim. Okay, for the belt, that stay the same. Still life resistance and crafted like crafted weapon elemental damage. Weather, okay. Pretty fine with another like damage. What is here? Onslaught, still the same kind of jewels here, or at least Abyss jewels. What else did change? I bought this amulet, the base of it, right? It's just like Dex and Intelligence, because if you don't have your Law Weave on, you have a really, like, you're almost Dex starved as well, right? Because Falls take 212 Dexterity to equip. So the all attributes here help as well. That's why I went with Dexterity and Intelligence base and then just spammed some Chaos. Here I got crit chance, crit multi, fizz damage, life, all resistance, basically everything I want to have, right? In a better world, we would have Fizz's extra fire maybe, Fizz's extra something like damage penetration, something like that, right? But still, it's a pretty decent choice. Rings stay the same, basically. Still the aspect of the spider, because... cat. Sorry, cat. Because I actually wanted to go for a Feral's Fur, but that doesn't really make sense. Feral's Fur cost about 25 exalts. I mean, the cat scale is actually nice to have, but there is no way you can beat the Law Weave with that. And it costs a quarter of the Feral's Fur, basically, right? So, skip that idea. So, what do you want to have? Damage, life, resistance. So here we still have the Mark of the Elder. Pretty decent choice, pretty nice DPS boost, nothing too special about here. So for the gem slots, in my main hand weapon, if you want to play it like that I have Leap Slam, Fortify, and faster attacks. The downside of that is you don't have blood magic in here, so once you start jumping around and your mana regen is not that bad, or not that great, at one point you just don't have enough mana to actually attack, like here, right? So that's something... I don't know, like, sometimes I think of skipping 45 for blood magic just for to skip the 45 for better movement skill, right? But at the moment it works like that, so I'm gonna keep it like that. In the other foil I have Ancestral Warchief with Consecrated Effect support and Blood Rage as a standalone. Then we have in the helmet cast 1 damage taken with Immortal Call to play together with our Blood Rage, you know, the thing with the Soul of Arakali. When you get hit, at least you have Blood Rage, you get physical damage, you get hit. The cast 1 damage taken procs, your Immortal Call procs, you are immune to physical damage for a short period of time. So the Captured Queen of the Great Tangle is active, so you actually have 50% more recovery rate of life and energy shield, right? So that's very nice to have. So the combination of Blood Rage and Immortal Call. Then in the chest, we went with Tectonic Slam, increased area with effect, what you can switch out for Conk effect for Shaper and Uber Elder for more single target DPS. Endurance charge for melee stun, elemental damage with attack support, elemental focus, and multi-strike. So elemental focus is something we got in because if you remember the Phoenix swords, they have a chance to ignite, and once the enemy is ignited, you do more damage. So that's why you actually ran combustion before, so for more fire damage. But since I ran my dual-wielding, jeweled foils here, I don't have that ignite anymore, so I switched out combustion and took in elemental focus for the more elemental damage. I don't need my enemies to burn because, yeah, why? You know, it's 10k DPS, so not even mentionable. And yeah, multi-strike, because to have more attacks. You can skip multi-strike, but I tried it today. What did I put in for multi-strike? I think fire penetration. It is generally more DPS, but the problem is that I saw on the Uber Elder encounter, with 1 attack you do actually 3 attacks with multi-strike, right? So that is also only one time you spend mana for 3 attacks. So once you skip the multi-strike and you only have 1 attack, you're gonna spend way more mana for your attacks, right? So at least not more mana, but you hit once and you have 2 for free. And both of those free will actually give you mana back because of the mana regen we have here, of the mana leech, right? So I saw that one with only 1 mana leech node and without multi-strike, I had a problem single targeting, right? If there are more mobs, not a problem, but if there's only 1 target, you can do like 3 or 4 of these slams and then you run out of mana. And this is like a very big problem. So you do technically more DPS with a fire penetration, but the fact that you stop attacking for some time because you don't have mana makes it not worth, you know? So multi-strike is, for me, the way to go. There is just a downside on the multi-strike because, let's say I jump, I make my attack and I jump, right? So I can't like do like this if I jump, attack, jump, right? If I have multi-strike, it's jump, attack 3 times and then jump, so I have a delay. So on Uber Elder, for example, it is kind of bad if Shaper shoots his balls, you're attacking, you see the balls flying and you want to jump away, but you cannot instantly because you're still stuck in the animation of multi-strike. So that made me rip today one time. So yeah, it also has like positive sides and downsides as well. For mapping, definitely multi-strike. I mean, it's fast, it's fun, you clear a whole screen with it and it's just super enjoyable. Okay, in the gloves, Anger and Herald of Ash. Pretty solid choice here. And yeah, Uber for the Murderer's Eye Jewel, just multiplier, life, and damage. Probably the same for the Searching Eye, if you can get physical damage, fire damage, and life. Life is the max priority here, right? And since I bought this Light Poacher today, I have here life, multiplier, and phasing. I think I had it on my stash. And here is life and all resistance. The problem is, as I said before, I really have a problem with my resistance. I barely kept them, but only because I took something like Diamond Skin on my tree and also Sentinel with those 2 res modifiers, right? So if you would get a helm with just life and resistance, or get life and resistance on your ring, you can basically skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 skill points. 7 skill points. And get like Primeval Force and do a lot more damage just because of that, right? Or get more life nodes and stuff like that. So I literally wasted 7 points for getting my resistance done, and I'm not even Wise Oak balanced, right? So there's definitely some more improvement possible for this character. So next thing, Flask stayed the same pretty much. Wise Oak, as I said, try to get your fire resistance as the highest, or at least here top 2 highest. Then Lion's Roar for the 25% more melee physical damage, a lot of damage. Aetherius Promise for some more physical extra as Chaos, and also the Leech from it. Diamond Flask with Bleed Immunity, and Life Flask with Curse Immunity. Although this doesn't make sense, you really want to skip those 2. So you have the Bleed Immunity on your Life Flask, because once you're bleeding, you hit it once and bleed is gone, right? With the Curse Immunity, you want to have that for a longer amount of time, right? Because we don't need Freeze Immunity because of Chaos Root, so that's pretty solid. So, talking about Chaos Roots, you want to have +1 Endurance Charge, but they cost like 4 to 5 Exalts. So, what does 1 Endurance Charge mean? We have where is it? Endurance Charge on melee stun. That means we do 4% more damage per Endurance Charge. So, 1 more Endurance Charge means 4% more damage. So, that's a lot. And yeah, the more Endurance Charges, the more we can spam them away. So, pretty good here. Okay, let's talk about the skill tree, what changes we made. As you saw before, skill tree stayed basically almost the same that it did in the previous version. There was just some playing around here, some more stats. Then I took a couple points out here. I need resistance and something like that. I had the full Scion cluster because of the life. So if you can remove or at least fix your resistance, get more damage, or just replace those points and get the full life cluster and reach like almost, yeah, 7.5k life or something, that's pretty solid. And yeah, so we went up here, we have some more penetration here, some damage, life, so pretty generic tree. The jewels still stayed the same, although I could invest some more now, but it wasn't really necessary. You know, remember when I said like physical damage with swords, multiplier and life, but attack speed would be better? They are just like, these jewels are 20 chaos. The attack speed multi-life is like 1x to 2x, so you need a bunch of those. Like we have ones here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 jewel slots, 7 with this one, 1 Watcher's Eye, so makes it 6 times this. So that would be about 6 to 10 exalts for the jewels, right? If you take the attack speed. So I still stick with those. They're fine. Damage-wise, it's pretty okay now. So I don't see a reason why to change that. The Watcher's Eye I changed. Remember when I had the Anger, this is extra damage, right? So the Phoenix Swords gave me 2 times I think it was 30% of damage converted. No, wait a second, it was 25% damage conversion to fire. So I dual wielded them, so I had 50%, plus the 60% coming from Tectonic Slam was 110, so I was full fire conversion, right? Since I have my falls now, I took the Watcher's Eye jewel with the mod physical damage converted to fire damage. This can roll up to 40, I just bought the cheapest one with this mod and divined it to 40, so I really have 100%. So if I take this one out, you see that I have actually physical and fire damage. And once I put this one in, we have just pure fire damage. We don't have any physical damage anymore. So that's why fire penetration is a gem that actually gives us a shitload of DPS, right? All the penetration, right? Okay, anything else to add here? Ascendancy points that I forgot last time. You want to have undeniable, obviously, the accuracy. We currently run, what? Offense. 91% hit chance at the moment, so all above 90% is fine. We also get a lot of attack speed coming from the accuracy and so on. Then you want to have unflinching and unyielding. Unyielding because you generate endurance charges, same as the melee, the endurance charge melee stun, but you want to have as maximum endurance charge generation as you can have. The unstoppable is not needed since we run Chaos Roots, and the unbreakable is just like damage mitigation, armor is doubled and so on. Unrelenting is something that a lot of viewers said I should take, but to be honest, you know, you have 1% additional physical damage, reduction per endurance charge, fine. Reduced elemental damage taken, wonderful. And chaos resistance per endurance charge, very well. But, yeah, we are constantly consuming endurance charges all the time because of our empowered slams, right? So how often do you think we have the maximum number of endurance charges to actually profit from the elemental damage taking? Almost never. You spam them away like, I don't know what. So you sometimes have like 7, 6, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 6, 7, blah, 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 you know? So you never have really maximum endurance charges. So I think Unrelenting on this spec is just not needed. Same as the Unstoppable with Chaos Roots. So there is only those 4 left. Perfect. So, let's talk about the Pantheons. As I said, Soul of Arakali explained before with the Blood Rage, and here we have Yugol for Uberelder that I just did, and otherwise I would probably take maybe Tukohama, because, well, stationary, right? When we attack, we are stationary, so we benefit out of that, and life regen. So that's pretty fine. For the Bandits, if we go /passives, we have 0 points because we take Alira. Why Alira? We are a crit multi-build, or at least a crit build, so you want to have Alira because you get multiplier and all resistance, and we really have a problem with all resistance here, right? So that's a pretty solid choice here. Talking about the MTX, Double Seraph Sword with Forge Weapon effect, we have the Celestial Hood, Glowing Red Eyes, the Dragon Hunter Wings, the Ultimate Chaos Body Armor, we have Kitava Gloves and Boots with the Ultimate Chaos Footprints, Celestial Character Effect and the Demon King Portal Effect. Here we have the Demonic Leap Slam to make it red. I couldn't afford the Ancestral War Chief, so they are standard. Blood Rage doesn't have one. Dark Immortal Call, the Betrayal Aura that you see over here. And the Automaton Herald Effect to make those rat-looking explosions, which is pretty nice. Alright, so I think we went over everything, hopefully. Path of Building link is given in the description below from this kind of character, exactly like I have it here, right? So I'm just going to export it right now. So, final expressions, or at least final impressions? No, what do you know, like conclusion, whatever, you know what I mean. I have to say, expensive. I'm pretty sure I spent 30 to 40 exalts on this one. And I could do Uberelder, but it was not as easy as with other characters. So you gotta think of, can you afford it in the first hand? Budget version will never be as strong just because those falls is like mandatory for the damage. Without those foils, I had like 500k damage. With the foils, I'm like on 1.4 million damage. So with the changes I did on the last thing, I got more than 1 million DPS on total, right? In addition to the ult build, but for what price? This is the thing, right? So in terms of playstyle and fun, right? I give it a 10 out of 10. It's one of my favorite melee builds. The playstyle is just super fun. You can fast mapping, your whole screen burns. It's like super cool, right? If you can afford it, that's the thing. If you cannot afford it, if you have like 10x and you're just like, oh, I want to play the Tectonic Slam, then I would recommend watching Mateil's build about the Onigoroshi. I think that's like 10 times cheaper than this character, and you will have similar results. I think if you do a character like this, you will have better results from way more exalts. You understand? I think Mateil did a very good job here combining his Tectonic Slam with Juggernaut and the Onigoroshi. So if you're looking for a cheaper version, I'm going to link his build guide in the description below. And if you still think like, okay, you think this one is fun, you want to try that one out, go for it. It's a lot of fun if you can afford it. So this is basically what I really have to say about this character. It's just sad that melee builds are getting so expensive if you want to make them good. That's just, yeah, sad, to be honest. But yeah, I think the job here is done. I achieved what I wanted to. Uber Elder is down. I cleared all content with it. I can spawn Uber Elder again. That's nice. Mastermind also down, so I will do my next build now. And I'm not too sure what it's going to be. I think it will stay a Juggernaut, because this one is actually 97 at the moment. So since, you know, I want to do my challenges, and one of those is grinding to level 100, I think I'm going to make a second Juggernaut out of this. Probably, maybe Righteous Fire, probably something of that kind of stuff. We're going to see where the journey will go. But for now, I'm just going to sell this gear now and get ready for the next character. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that one. Thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see ya on the next video.